That would give us unlimited location spots to go check. It would open up more potential for scrap metal if I know where it is and where the containers are going, right? But we're good now. It was just a little adjustment right there, but if I had kept going, it would have got probably tighter and tighter to where it'll start making a mess with the wire. You'll find that out when you go and peel it after you do a whole bag. Oh no, don't want that stuff in there. Yeah. Okay. We're going to start off the day by staying inside and stripping wire. That's exactly what we're going to do. And then we'll come outside and we'll do some scrap on the bench. We're going to try to get the buggy unloaded. Good news with the weather today, it's going to be 32 with a low tonight of 22 degrees. That's bearable to go out dumpster diving. It is Wednesday, so that's exactly what we're going to go do tonight. But I got to make some content, something to upload today before we go out, so that makes it a little challenging for me to be able to get my one video per day out. But it is what it is. I don't mind working a little extra hard to be able to get out there and make some more great content for you guys. But yeah, everything is just downright frosty and white right now, and it's been a good consistent snow for the last 2 hours, 3 hours, something like that. Okay, yeah. All right, so we're gonna jump inside. We're gonna strip some wire, right, Mason boy? We're gonna strip some wire. Okay, yeah. He's like, yeah, get to it. Get to work, he says. Okay, I'm pausing that now, and we're gonna start stripping a bit of wire. Talk about what we're doing today and this evening. Yeah, sounds good enough to me. But let's make sure we're all dialed in for this small machine wire, this stuff. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, needles. Lots of needles. Okay, let's see. Need more cut. Dial that down. That dials the blade down. This top knob right there. We need to go more. How's that? I think that did it. Because once we get it dialed in like that, I'll be able to run these pieces and then just check every 3, 4, 5 piece that I put through there, just to make sure it's still cutting nicely like this, you know. Or, you know, if you really wanted to, you could run it really tight and just make sharp copper barbs all day. You could do that. I'm not gonna do that, but we still got a good big size bag of wire over there to continue stripping, and we got a nice little bundle of Bear Bright, but we need to make that bag bigger and heavier. So yeah, let's get right into it for a little bit. Strip this wire. I got a bucket right underneath this table that I have the wire in, and I'm going to run this wire, and it's going to shoot into that bag. Once that bag gets up to a reasonable, you know, size, I'm gonna peel the insulation off of the wire and separate the two. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Looking good. Okay. Yeah, so we're stripping wire inside. Ain't no sense in sitting out there in the middle of winter, snowing. Doesn't make sense sitting out there and stripping it if I can just stay warmer and stay inside. It's just all around a better option for me. I can make my content and hang out with my Mason boy. You guys can see my Mason boy. He's right there. Okay. Wow, that was a long one. I almost had the whole thing out too. That's why when I throw wire into this bucket right here, when I throw wire into this bucket, I make sure I kind of lightly throw it in and not pack it down, or else you'll get that knotting effect that I showed you. But if you pack it in there and you're trying to pull wire out, you know, it could turn into a not fun time in a hurry. Usually when they're at lengths at 4, 5, 6 foot long, you should be able to strip it and be able to pull it all right out like no problem. See this one, it's long again, and we got major knottage, but it gets better as the bucket gets empty. Like that. How we doing? We're not making barbs, are we? We're getting close to it. I can back that off just a little bit. Like right there. Should be good. I don't know, for whatever reason it does that, where I would be stripping this wire and it'd be good, you know, and it'd be not cutting through the copper, creating those sharp barbs. And then for whatever reason, as you're running it, it gets tighter and tighter. I don't know why it does that. You'd figure it to get loose. Maybe it has something to do with the handle or something. But we're good now. It was just a little adjustment right there. But if I had kept going, it would have got probably tighter and tighter to where it'll start making a mess with the wire. You'll find that out when you go and peel it after you do a whole bag. Yeah. I think I even talked about this in one of my previous videos of stripping wire in here. This is the second time I think I filmed it. But I'm just passing the time, scrapping this metal. And we tend to take it easier on the days that we go out dumpster diving at night. You know, work all day, work all night will leave you dead tired. I've done it many times. So, you know, the hardest part for me personally is when I get back from dumpster diving and, you know, I've been awake for so long, it's hard for me to be able to have the mental strength to be able to come over and start editing the video right when I get back. That can be a pain in the butt. So sometimes I get some sleep and then I'll wake up and get a fresh start on it while my brain is fresh. This was a much smaller wire. Okay. I'm going to run that one twice because this first foot's worth is not stripped right. Alright. Oh! Now that is barbs. Oh no! See what I just did? I stripped a smaller wire, so what I did is I tightened it up about a half a turn. And I went and put the next piece through, and I did not turn it back. to right there. Now if I go and open this, it's already poking the crap out of me. I'm gonna pull barbs out of here. It's all barbs. Those are not fun. Not fun. So we try to not do that. If we have to adjust it, we got to remember to adjust it back to go with the wire that we're that's like a charger cord, but to go with the wire that we're stripping, you know, I gotta make sure, because see, I don't want to make more barbs. I just did again. Yep, that is one of the downsides with this unit. Other than that, it strips wire. It does what it was intended to do. I know there's better wire strippers out there, but yeah. Yeah. Maybe one day. Perfect. See, I'm looking at this wire, and this wire is obviously thicker than what I've been putting in there. I'd have to loosen it or make barbs, or set it to the side. Right. To continue running the same gauge that you've been running. Yeah. Because there is various sizes in here, but not by all that much. But enough to make the difference in stripping it the wrong way. Or cutting it the wrong way. Yep. So that thicker stuff we'll throw all right down there by my feet in a little pile, and then we'll adjust it later for that. We're stripping this wires. Okay, we stripped our wire. We need to pull this bag over to us now, right to where we can reach our wires. And I'll start by grabbing a piece out at a time, and I use my needle nose pliers for this part, like I told you guys I do. Find somewhere in the middle of the wire, and I come over and I take this needle nose and I pinch it, and then twist it around, and it opens up the copper and the plastic basically. So now what you've just done is you've created a way to grab the plastic with the needle nose, and I grab the copper with the other side, and I just pull it clean. And most of the time it pulls clean. This one here did good. Then I got my insulation can and my Bare Bright copper can right here. Okay, it did not go clean. Yeah, it did. just being a pain in the butt here at the end. There, good. We're working in cramped quarters. It is what it is. It's better than being cold. Yeah. So that's this method right here. Needle nose pliers. It's a lot better than using your raw thumbnail over and over and over. Have any of you out there ever tore up your thumbnails on stripping wire before? It's not fun, is it? So yeah, see that? Once you get a good rhythm of it, the pliers shouldn't even really leave your right hand, or whatever hand you're using to do this with, but I found that a nice pair of needle nose pliers did the trick quite well for me. But yeah, halfway up into the wire, or grab it by the middle, grab the plastic with the needle nose, grab the copper with your left hand and pull it free. And that, to me, I think is the most efficient way to go about peeling it after you've ran your wire through a strip meister. Yeah. It doesn't nearly wear down your hand as much if you're using this tool. Or whatever you got, a pair of pliers, I don't know. I'm sure you could use multiple things, but I found that the end of a pair of needle nose was the best. But basically we're mushing the copper in the middle with the pliers about halfway up and bending it to create that separation spot where you can get in with the pliers and get the plastic off. You know, that's why I think it's worth me bringing up again, because, well, I haven't found any other easier way to peel it after it's been ran through a machine. Every now and then you end up catching on to a little piece of copper that sticks with the plastic, and it might put up a little struggle, but if you can get around that part and pull the plastic free with the pliers, I just do that, man. And when I'm stripping wire and I'm not recording, usually I got maybe YouTube going, or I'm watching something so there's some background. And every now and then Mason goes, I need to go outside, and I'll let him out and I'll watch him run around the yard, and you know, within 4 to 5 minutes flat, he's right at the door waiting for me to let him in. He'll jump up and down on the steps and then whine loud enough for me to hear him. And then I go get him. Hey, come on. Don't embarrass me, wire. Get loose. There. Ish. That one might not have been cut down far enough. Seems to be putting up a fight. Yeah. Run this one some more. Maybe that helped. It did. See, that was kind of an example of when you ran it through the machine and the cutting edge wasn't far down enough on the wire, and you struggle to be able to peel it off. You want it just like right there in the middle, so it's nice and easy, and to where it's not creating the barbs that we talk about. Those things that are not good times, you know. But once you get in the rhythm and you get to some wire that's nicely stripped, this process is nice and easy. See? So we'll sit here and do this process until that wire's done for. We are going outside here shortly to work at the bench. I want to get some scrap on the bench and off the bench. Empty out that buggy that we have there. And the one downside I'm having right now is that it's still snowing and it's not letting up. The more snow there is, the harder it is for me to be able to find scrap metal. That's the one thing, is we'll be digging through snow a bit more. But that's the name of the game, though. You got to do what you got to do to find the scrap metal. So, yeah. I'll be sure to bring extra gloves with me. But I was kind of hoping for light snow so things don't get covered so much, but there's already 2-3 inches of fresh stuff. So basically all the roll-offs and stuff that are out in the open, they're all snow covered. Those are the ones that I have to jump in regardless to move the snow around to find out if there is anything. It's a little extra work than being able to hop up and look in there. It makes a difference depending on how many that your hand's springing into. But that's our game plan today. Strip wires, scrap metal at the bench, edit this video, and then power back up and go dumpster diving tonight. Ah, that'd be sweet to find some new places. And there's another thing that I want to bring to your attention. I got an idea that might actually help us find more roll-off dumpsters, like new locations. You know, and I never thought about doing this, but I think I'm going to make a video on it. Okay? And, well, we all know that roll-off dumpsters are good when you find them. Usually there's a good chance that there being scrap metal in them. But the problem is finding the locations where the companies are dropping them off at. If I could find a way around that, that would give us unlimited location spots to go check. It would open up more potential for scrap metal. if I know where it is and where the containers are going, right? So I think we're gonna have to do like a little we're gonna have to do a recon video and find out where they're going, where they're picking stuff up at, and you know, I think that's gonna be my best bet. And if I can manage to find out where they're going and where they're picking stuff up at, that equals potential scrap metal in my future, you know. I need to know where they're going. So what better not to follow them and see where they're going. And then I just mark that down on my map as, okay, they're dropping roll-offs here and there. Right? What do you guys think? I think it's a great idea. So we're going to have to do some sort of a little recon type mission and find out where things are going. And I think that makes total sense to me to do that. Because I need to find out where the stuff is. You know, and if I find out where a lot of stuff is, I go back and get the truck and make it worth the haul. That's what it's boiling down to. If I can find new locations where renovations and construction spots are going down at, and where places are being throwing scrap out, and that's just going to give me a better chance of finding a big one, right? We got to follow them and figure it out. Oh yeah, time lapse this so we can get out there on the bench.